I welcome you all to this today's session of Cloud Computing Academics of MCA2. Till date, we have seen the various delivery modules, modules of the cloud computing concept. Now, we are going to discuss what do we mean by the virtualization, and this concept plays the major role in the cloud computing technology. We are going to see it in detail what we mean by the virtualization, details of the virtualizations, and which resources can be virtualized. I welcome you. We will wait for. Okay, without wasting much time further, we are going to start with our today's session of data virtualization. To begin with, we will go through with the first the very small video explaining the concept of virtualization with respect to the cloud computing, and then we will continue with the PowerPoint presentation and discussion. Let me share the screen with you. I hope I am audible and visible. If there is any problem, please let me know through the chat box.
Hello and welcome to VM Informer's video guides on virtual computing. The first question to answer is why virtualization? Well, it's simple. It saves money and resources.
This is the basic video with respect to the data virtualization. Video will end with the concept of virtualization in the cloud computing.
Of course, you'd like us to tell you how it works, so here's a simple introduction. Virtualization, or virtual computing, makes one physical computer act and perform like many computers. Every computer, irrespective of its power, size or age, from the smallest PC to the biggest mainframe, has.
Virtualization is a concept wherein a physical resource that might be any particular computer or that might be any resource, might be any network, printer or anything, a data resource to act like a virtualized one means that can be shown as a more than plus one, and the core computing devices like CPU, memory or storage and network can be virtualized.
4 attributes. Each one has a processor, the chip that does the work, some memory, the chips that remember the task and how to do it, some storage, which files everything away, and a network connection. Because we rely on computers for every aspect of our business life, there are hundreds of servers, PCs and laptops in most organisations, but they all have the same need for these 4 things. So virtualization works as follows. A big piece of hardware with plenty of power in processing, memory, storage and network capacity is loaded with a piece of software called a hypervisor.
There comes a hypervisor. Henceforth, this particular word shall play a major role in our cloud computing academics. That's abstraction layer and hypervisor.
The hypervisor is sometimes called the abstraction layer because it abstracts the physical resources and reallocates them more efficiently. In this diagram, above the abstraction layer is a guest computer, or some people call it a virtual machine. These virtual machines are just very big files. The guest computers run inside the physical hardware, which is called the host. An example of how a virtual machine runs inside a computer.
That's how we can have above the hypervisor there can be any guest user or computer, and we will now see how it can be interacted with.
Is the sending and receiving of some data through the network. Sent data leaves the guest computer, it travels through the hypervisor to the network card on the host and forwarded it to its eventual destination. The same works in reverse when receiving data. Why would you do this? Well, simply because you can run many machines simultaneously over one physical hardware. So
many guest machines or guest users can be mapped over one physical hardware, that's a host computer, by using the hypervisor, and that is nothing but the concept of virtualization.
you can save money on hardware, consolidate management, reduce energy use, and it becomes a much more efficient use of resources. Most computers operate using between only 4 to 7% of their resources. By virtualizing these computers, you can get many guests onto one host.
That's how we can have the optimized use of resources. If we are having only the, suppose we are having only the host computer and a single guest or single host computer is working, then actually we are using only maximum 4 to 7% or in some cases up to 10% of the resources of that underlying hardware. That might be CPU, memory, storage or network. CPU means the processor, memory means the RAM, storage means the hard disk and network means the NIC card. That's a network interface card. And by having the virtualization we are actually optimizing the use of that particular resources.
Immediately, you're going to get much greater efficiencies in power consumption, physical space, and energy use from cooling. Of course, you should need less people to look after that equipment. Now, when you need a new server, you don't need to buy new hardware, you can make a virtual one. If you need more memory or CPU on a device, your administrator just changes the resource allocation with a few mouse clicks. So what can you virtualize? Well,
What is virtualization we seen? That's a basic definition or basic of virtualization. Now, what can you virtualize? Means what are the resources that can be virtualized and how that can be
anything
virtualized
that
that
has
we
the
will
4
discuss.
attributes of a computer. Even the network and the switching between computers can be consolidated onto the same platform. There are more benefits.
Means we can virtualize any resource.
When you have 2 host servers, then you have the ability to move machines around, so available resources are optimized at all times. It's quite possible to move a powered-on guest computer from one host to another. You might do this because the first host is overloaded, or because
That is a data recovery plans, data migration plans or technologies available across the CSPs or cloud service providing.
there's been a catastrophic hardware failure of the original host. Maybe you can get cheaper processing costs somewhere else, which introduces the concept of cloud computing. However, this flexibility does raise some questions. Where are your machines? Who has access to these systems?
These are some of the limitations or challenges which has to be faced or answered by the virtualization concept.
How are they managed? What security is in place? Our other videos on virtualization risk management outline what is involved in these and other risks and what you can do to address them.
We have to address these limitations or challenges with respect to the cloud computing and virtualization.
Understand and address these issues, and you should be able to continue your virtualization journey with confidence.
That is something. Let me stop this share. Now we will start with the actual PPT as per our syllabus topic. I hope PPT is visible. I request all the attendees to mark your attendance at the chat box. If there is any problem with respect to visibility or audio, please let me know through the chat box. Okay, now this is the virtualization and the cloud computing. As we have seen in the video also, that there is an underlying hardware at the bottom of the slide. Then on that underlying hardware, there will be the host OS or bootstrap, we can say, means the basic operating system of that host only. And then on that host OS or bootstrap, there is an interface, data abstraction or abstract interface layer of hypervisor. Hypervisor may consist more than one VM. What do we mean by the VM? VM means the virtual machine. Hypervisor can have the virtual machines, more than one virtual machine. Again, the virtual machine will have its own operating system. Every virtual machine can have its own operating system. As we have discussed in the previous sessions, that this operating system need not be the same one. If suppose first one is the Linux, then the second might be Windows or any other operating system. And on that operating system, there are apps means the actual application softwares with respect to that virtual machines only. Okay, that is the way, or that is a way of virtualization. Okay, that is a, we can say, the graphical representation of virtualization, the bottom up. Now how we can have the logical representation? Like this only. Okay, application management services are there, like the .NET, SAS, Windows, Linux, JWE, desktop, and some of the applications. Then the infrastructure virtual services are there. Application V services means virtual services. Infrastructure V services, that's a virtual services, that's a V compute, V storage, V network, and V cloud services. That off-premise cloud. It's not a on-premise, that's off-premise and on-premise also. That's how we can represent the virtualization concept in a graphical and logical mode. Now, what do we mean by the virtualization as such? It's work on the multiple OS on a single machine. That is nothing but the basic meaning of virtualization. That on a single machine, that's a single hardware, you can have the virtual mini OSs. That's a virtual machine. Monitors, you can say VMM or VM directly. That's a virtual machine or virtual machine monitor. Each virtual machine or monitor will have its own OS again, its own OS, its own, we can say, the application software and apps, and accordingly that particular giving an illusion that each OS is running on a real hardware. That each OS will have the illusion that it's the only OS running on that underlying hardware. That's the illusion given by the, or to that particular OS. That's the basic meaning of virtual machine monitor. And there will be the another layer of kernel to virtualize the multiple OS, and which is called as a hypervisor. Hypervisor is the one of the data abstraction layer which gives that illusion to the each OS of VM that it's the only running hardware, only running OS on that real hardware which is underlying. That's how an OS can have the supersede on no more hardware detectors. That's a hypervisor. We will move further. Yes, that is a basic hardware virtualization. Suppose the server hardware is there, then the operating system will be there, and operating system can have the number of applications running. That's a server hardware virtualization. And we can have the virtualization, that virtualization of the hardware possible like this. In a second block diagram, that's the server hardware is there, and the underlying above to the server hardware there is a layer or abstraction layer of the hypervisor. Again on the hypervisor there might be the number of operating system virtual machines, they are called as a operating system, plus the individualized or customized applications as per the requirement of the end user. Whatever the requirement of end users are there, that will be satisfied through such a virtual mode using the hypervisor and with the help of virtual machine. Now, what do we mean, or what is the basic definition of the virtualization? Virtualization is a technology to run the multiple or same operating systems which is completely isolated from each other. That is the basic definition of the virtualization, that it can have the number of operating, basically it will have the number of operating system, and that number of operating system can be of same type or can be of different type. For example, run the both Windows and Linux on the same machine. Nowadays, it's not many of us are doing that. Dual boot systems were there, or many of us also might be using dual boot system, wherein we are having on the same hardware, same desktop or server. We are using the different operating system like Linux and Windows at the same time, simultaneously. That is nothing but the virtualization. Virtualization of that resource of desktop PC or laptop. That is virtualization. What is virtualization? That's in computing. Virtualization refers to the act of creating a virtual version of something. That something is nothing but the resource. That resource might be anything, including a virtual computer hardware platform or operating system or a storage device or any network resource, computer network resource, and that is nothing but the virtualization. That's creating a virtual version of that any resource. And again, virtualization began in the 1960, in late 1916, along with the evolution of data concept, database concept. There is a evolution of virtualization as a method of logically dividing a system resources provided by the mainframe. There were the mainframe computers at that time between the different applications. Since then, the meaning of term has broadened. Now, whatever the virtualization we are doing at that in that time of 1960s or 1990s, like a dual boot systems were there. Now it has been broadened, and now we are using the hardware virtualization and network virtualization. And on the cloud computing concept, any resource can be virtualized. Types of virtualization, that's hardware virtualization. Then we can have the OS virtualization. Server virtualization is also possible. Desktop virtualization, as we have discussed, running the dual boot system, like on the same machine we are having the Windows and Linux system. That's we can say the hardware desktop virtualization. Application virtualization is also possible in a cloud computing. Now we will see all this concept in detail in the upcoming sessions. We will continue with the next slide. Now, what are the characteristics of the virtualization? As being this a technical concept of the cloud computing, there are some characteristics with respect to the virtualization. The first one, that's a security isolation, as we are abstracting the hardware layer and giving illusion to the guest OS or guest user or end user that they are only the users of that underlying hardware, and there is in between the hypervisor can be have the have been along with the some of the firewalls hardware or any other firewall. Then accordingly we can actually doing the security isolation. Then the resource isolation is also possible. Resource isolation, like we have seen in the some of the previous diagram, that this is the resource isolation, that we, actual application have been isolated of as per the VM. As per VM, there are different application, that is a resource application is itself a resource. That's how we are doing the resource isolation. That is one of the characteristics. Using these isolation concepts and the virtualization and hypervisor or data abstraction, achieving we are actually achieving the efficiency. We are actually optimizing the use of that all the resources that are underlying, might be underlying hardware, might be underlying memory, might be underlying storage or any network resource. And we are actually efficiently using that all resources, optimizing the efficiency of that all users resources. That is nothing but the efficiency. And thus how we are making available that availability, the next character, making available that all the resources across the network, across the platform, across the cloud on the 24 by 7 basis for all the users. And that's how we can also make them all resources a serviceability. Serviceable means they can respond to the whatever the queries raised by the users, end user, and they can act upon that queries, and they can service that queries. Requirement, query is nothing but the requirement of that user, and they can service any resource, can service the end users requirement. And actually that's how we can have the 24 by 7 serviceability. Flexibility, as per as we have seen the previous, that's a scale up and scale down, or scale across, scaling across the flexibility of the resources. And the last but not the least, that is the agility of the resources we can achieve by using the virtualization. What do you mean by the agility? That's as and when required there will be available, as and when required, as per requirement they will be available. When we are encapsulating this both concept, that's as and when required and as per required, then there it is termed as a agility concept. And all these characteristics are satisfied by the virtualization. These are the basic 7 characteristics of any virtualization technology. I hope all should be on time. Then the continuing with the characteristics of virtualization, that why not to do all these in the OS? Agar suppose we are having the single OS, then why it is not possible to achieve all these characteristics? What we have discussed right now, that why it is not possible. That next one, that's fidelity of the fidelity concept. Fidelity is nothing but to ability to run the application unmodified, whatever the application provided by the end user, then it will be run as it is. Then the performance close to the hardware ability, as we have discussed that every OS or every VM as such will give shall be given an illusion that it's only VM or it's only OS running on that underlying hardware. That's how we can have the close performance to the hardware ability. Then the safety is achieved by using all hardware resources managed by the virtualization manager and never directly accessible to the application. It, all the whatever the underlying resource hardware are there, that might be any network card, that might be any memory slot or storage slot, it will not be never be directly accessible to the application. Okay, and it will be directly or it will be managed by the virtualization manager. Means that's a hypervisor or data abstraction layer, and that's how we can achieve the safety isolation of performance. We have discussed this. Then portability means ability to run the, as we have seen in that video, that the guest OS can be migrated from one VM to the another VM or another any other hardware. That's a portability concept, ability to run VM on any hardware, support of value adding operating systems like migration. Then encapsulation, ability to capture the VM steps, means whatever the VM state, it will be, we can have the benchmarking on the VM virtual machine states. And if in case of any failure of the system, if we supposed to do any data recovery, then we can have the backup and recovery system as per the benchmark done. That is nothing but the VM state benchmarking. And the last, that's the transparency in operation we can achieve by using the virtualization. The next one. Now, what are the major components of any virtualized environment? As we have seen in the diagram, let me show you the diagram again. These are the diagram. That's a graphical interface or graphical representation of the virtualization, and this is the virtual logical interface as shown in the diagram. What are the major components of the any virtualization? That's a guest, means the system component that interacts with the virtualization layer. Virtualization layer means a hypervisor or data abstraction layer, and the host, that's the original environment where the guest run. That's a host OS or host operating system or host network resource or host storage and memory. And the last, that's a virtualization layer that recreate the same or different environment where the guest will run. That's the illusion given to the guest OS or guest guest VMM, that's virtual machine. And that for that purpose we are using the virtualization layer. That is nothing but virtualization layer is nothing but the hypervisor. Hypervisor gives that illusion. That means illusion means it will recreate the same or different environment for the guest or VM for the purpose of running their own application. We will move further. I request all of you to please mark your attendance. Now we can show these components of the virtualization in a graphical mode. That's a guest. Guest can be any virtual image application, and application number of applications can be there. Then the virtualization layer, that's a software emulation. That's a basic function of virtualization layer. It will virtualize hardware, it will virtualize storage, it will virtualize networking, and that's how that guest will interact through the virtualization layer only. It will not directly interact to the host. See, it is not directly interacting with the host. It is interacting via the virtualization layer only. That's a virtualization layer means the hypervisor, and that hypervisor is in turn interacting with the underlying hardware system, physical storage of the host or host operating system. That's a physical networking, physical storage, or physical hardware of the host. Okay, that's how we can show the virtual various components. These three major components of virtualization concept graphically. That's a guest, virtualization layer, that's a virtual hypervisor, and a host. Now, what are the types of virtualization? Types of virtualization, there is the, we can in the cloud computing we can literally virtualize any given ICT resource. Whatever the ICT resource you name, you can virtualize it. Okay, these are the, like hardware you can virtualize, network you can virtualize, storage, memory, software, data, and desktop. Desktop means the underlying operating system All these you can virtualize. In hardware, that can be a full virtualization or bare metal virtualization, hosted, partial or para virtualization. Network that can be internal network virtualization or external one. Storage, we can have the block virtualization or file virtualization. We are going to see these all concepts in detail in the coming sessions. Memory, we can have the application level virtualization, application level integration or OS level, application level or OS level virtualization. In a software, we can have the OS level, application level or service. In a data, we can virtualize the database as such, and desktop can be virtualized by using the virtual desktop or hosted virtual desktops. That is nothing but the server virtualization, desktop, application, network and storage virtualization. These are the some of the basic types of virtualization technology. As we have discussed that in a cloud computing, virtualization plays a major role because it is possible to virtualize each and every ICT resource. That's why it is being played a major role in a cloud computing environment. Okay, this is the basic block diagram of virtual resources, how the virtualization is done, and the physical resources. You can share, okay? If suppose there is a one particular resource, you can share among the number of users. That's the first triangle, sharing. Sharing is nothing but one type of virtualization. Second, if suppose the number of underlying resources are there, very opposite case of sharing. Okay, number of underlying resources you can aggregate them for a single user. Okay, you can aggregate, that's the upper triangle. You can aggregate them to the single user, that's the aggregation. You can show that single user, that's a there is only one resource available, that is the meaning of aggregation. Then you can emulate, this is the emulation. Okay, as it is, it will be duplicated. Whatever the resource available in a physical resource mode, that will be duplicated or virtualized in a such a way that it is being emulated at the virtual resource level. And the last type of virtualization, last way of doing virtual, these are the way of doing virtualization. These are the channels by which you can achieve the virtualization. These are not the types of virtualization. These are the ways of doing virtualization. The last way of doing virtualization is the isolation. You can isolate any particular resource for a particular user. Okay, that is isolation. I'm going to share this PPT on the WhatsApp and Google Classroom. So what is the server virtualization? I don't feel that in today's session only we are going to complete this particular topic, as the number of virtualization techniques we have to go through. We will take up to the server only and then we will stop, and then we will continue at the next topic at the next session. Okay, to begin with the server virtualization, we have seen the types of virtualization. Now out of that, first, that's a server virtualization. Now what do you mean by the server virtualization? At the traditional server architecture, there is a one operating system, there is one application. Means underlying operating system is been accessed by the application, and that application is a singular application for the singular user, and that's a traditional server architecture. In a virtualized server architecture, there can be the number of operating system, there can be the number of application as such. Underlying virtualization will be there on, means the number of operating systems are there. If you are seeing this very carefully, there are four number of applications and four number of operating systems are there, and they are being placed or mapped, rather to say placed, they are being mapped on a virtualization. That's a hypervisor virtualization layer. This is the virtualization layer, that is the hypervisor. Number of hypervisors can also be there, and thus the underlying server resource is being virtualized. Okay, now these are the four users of this particular server. Okay, that's how we are doing the virtualization of server resource, and we can show graphically the virtualized server architecture. Now what do you mean by the server architecture? Now we will take the example. These are the some of the example wherein the server application or server is being virtualized. If suppose that's your print server, it will, this is suppose the print, means all these technologies are using the server virtualization in Oracle, means the database management, SQL, that's the database management. We are using the database servers, and there have been server virtualized one. Then the application servers we can virtualize, we can have the virtualized application server. Email servers like the Gmail, though like suppose we are getting the very real time mail accessibility on the Gmail or any other email service provider, and we are feeling that we are the only user of that particular email service provider, and that's how that server is virtualized in such a way. That's an email server we can use in a virtualized way. File server we can use in a virtualized way. Even the print server across the any network, that might be local area network or wide intranet like a WAN or a cloud computing network, we can have the virtualized print servers. Now, this is the basic meaning of virtualization. Like a physical server is there, it has been emulated by using the hypervisor, and number of VMs, that's a virtual machine, can be there. On per virtual machine there can be a OS, and that OS is again been accessed by using the individualized or customized apps application software as per the requirement of that particular user. Now, what do you mean by the server virtualization? The server virtualization is a technology which enables the creation of virtual instance of any operating system on a virtual platform. Means it will enable, it is actually enabling the creation of virtual instance of any operating system. Okay, these are the virtual. We means the virtual instances of and of what, that's the underlying operating system. Before the server virtualization became mainstream, each individual operating system required a physical platform. If suppose there is no hypervisor, then obviously each operating system will require a single platform or separate physical platform. Typically, a server, okay, that is a uh, uh, require a physical platform with a particularly with the server disk, memory, and other associated hardware to host the operating system. If suppose the virtualization is not there, but on a physical server, an operating system has access to all available computing resources of the hardware, and as such, the servers have become the more powerful, and this approach has proven very wasteful on the hardware resource availability. If suppose there is no hypervisor or virtualization, obviously the underlying resources are going to be wasted, so that to optimally use all that resources, that resource might be any CPU, might be any disk, might be any memory slot, or any other associated hardware or network resource, we should have the virtualization possible. We should activate the virtualization, implement virtualization using the hypervisor, that's virtualization layer or data abstraction layer, and using the concept of virtual machines. Now, how the virtualization has been evolved in 1960s to the upcoming 1990s, and then that in the 1960s, IBM pioneered the first virtualization of the system memory, and this was precursor to the virtual hardware. It is not actually the virtual hardware, but it is actually the, we can say, the virtualization of the memory, system memory. Then in the 70s, IBM virtualized a proprietary operating system, first time called VM 370. That's the first operating system being used on the virtualized environment. And in 1990s, there comes the VMware and VMware Workstation, and there comes then in 2000 onwards, it is being converted or widened in a cloud computing networks. That's how the server virtualization is evolved. There obviously guaranteedly there will be one theory question in your university exam on the virtualization or the server virtualization. What are the benefits of server virtualization? The very first benefit of server virtualization, it is the first step towards the cloud computing. The last benefit, that's the first step towards the cloud computing, and others are there like the efficient utilization of the rates, that's resources, then the reduced power consumption and energy cost. Obviously, there will be the reduction in the expenditures because we are virtualizing the underlying hardware and resources only. Obviously, it will decrease the capital expenditure. It will, and that's how it will enhance the business continuity. Though as the business which required the less expenditure is continuity will be longer. That's a basic thumb rule. The more flexible and efficient allocation of resources can be done, and it too in a simplified server management and security way. That's how we can have the benefits of the server. These are the advantage of server virtualization. That's a reduced physical resource costs, speedy setup, create backups. We can create the backups and gain flexibility. Okay, that is how we can have the server flexibility, server virtualization. We can have the physical server, then the virtual server, virtual storage, and the physical storage. Okay, we will stop here for the today's session. Till this point, we have discussed with up to the server virtualization. Next, we are going to discuss with respect to the storage and network virtualization. With this, I going to conclude. I expect all of you might have attended and mark your attendance. We are going to meet as per the scheduled time table again with the same topic of the virtualization concept in the data cloud computing with the further detailing of the storage virtualization and network virtualization. Thank you. Thank you all of you. Have a good day.